Hey guys, hope everybody's doing great today. This is a special shout out video to a bunch of other great channels on YouTube. My channel has grown quite a bit over the past 2 years. It's very humbling. I'm very appreciative. Thank you so much to everybody who's hit that subscribe button and joined the tribe. And I thought I would use the bit of a platform that I have now on YouTube to shine a spotlight on some of the other fantastic channels on YouTube. Some of them are smaller and are on the rise, have some really quality stuff going on, and I think you'll enjoy them. Some of them don't need my help or endorsement at all, but I'm a fan of them and they have helped inspire me in what I do here, so I wanted to give them a special thanks as well. So these are in no particular order, as with all of my lists, but starting off the list at number 1 is South Africa's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force, codename G.I. Joburg. I had the opportunity to do some cartoon commentaries with the boys at G.I. Joburg a while back. Those were a lot of fun and I love their channel. They have so much fun on their channel. I know there are a lot of toy review channels on YouTube that are, and they, don't get me wrong, they're enjoyable. They can be very informative, valuable for when you're trying to decide whether you want to get an item or not. A lot of the time I just want to know the functionality of it. How do certain parts work? How does everything move around? So those have their value, but I really like it when people have fun with the items, that they're passionate about them. And G.I. Joburg plays with their toys in such a fantastic way. G.I. Joe toys for me when I was growing up were the outside toy. I loved going outside and playing with Joe figures and vehicles outside, and G.I. Joburg really recaptures the magic of childhood, and they have such beautiful locations in South Africa to film as well. They have beautiful water areas and things that stand in for deserts or mountain regions. It's almost like watching an old episode of the cartoon. Really fun stuff. Second one on the list is a fairly new channel called Tyler's Toy Box. And I immediately fell in love with this channel when I saw it. It's for kids, so it's family rated, G-rated. It's got a lot of heart. It's fun, it's funny. It's just really, really nice to see something that isn't dripping with cynicism and sarcasm. Again, just having fun with toys, and there's some great effects going on there too. He does all of the voices, he writes little scripts for them. There's little scenarios for all of the Transformers toys that he uses in the video. So it's nice to see an actual story playing out through these short episodes. So if you have kids, I would highly recommend having them check out the new channel Tyler's Toy Box. Number 3 is another really fun one called Cardboard Bots, and that's all about Transformers stop motion. He puts so much time and effort into it. You have no idea how long this stuff takes. Frame by frame, still by still. It is old school style of moving the toy one little tiny bit at a time, cutting it all together, thinking it all out, having them be in these different situations, doing the voices as well. It takes a lot of effort to do just a very short video on this channel. But as someone who puts a lot of effort into my own videos, I really recognize the effort that he puts into his channel. So I appreciate it, and I think a lot more people will appreciate it too, so check that one out. Number 4 is a guy who really doesn't need all that much publicity. He's been around for a long time and he has quite a following already, but I feel the need to take a moment and give him a salute. It is fellow Canuck Form BX257. He is a wealth, a fountain of knowledge and information when it comes to G.I. Joe. His videos are so in-depth, so informative, so immersive. If you really want to learn not just about a toy, but about the character as well, which I think is so important when it comes to all of these beloved 80s characters, it's not just about the plastic representation we held in our hands, it's about the spirit, the character that imbued life into that toy. That's why we loved it so much. So Form BX257 really goes in depth on every single toy that he does. It's very informative. You wouldn't think that there's so much behind each toy, but I think he illustrates why all those G.I. Joes in particular were so great in the 80s, because all of that thought went into them behind the scenes. Number 5 is another guy who certainly doesn't need my recommendation. Almost everybody knows him, but again, I need to take a moment and give him a salute. It is Pixel Dan. He is not just a credit to the toy community, I think he's a credit to the human race. He is so passionate about everything that he talks about on his channel, and that's wonderful. That's fantastic. That gets us pumped up about the things that he's talking about. But I want to take a moment to talk about something that other people don't really touch on about Pixel Dan's videos, and that is the grace. Dan is the man. Now, statistics show that 97% of Dans aren't actually the man. Pixel Dan is one of those Dans that is the man. He could go by Dan the Man if he didn't want to go by Pixel Dan. He has so much grace. Now, I have just a fraction of the following Pixel Dan has, so I had a little taste of some of the things that he has to deal with his channel. He gets a lot of positivity, a lot of great response, but I'm sure he also gets a lot of unpleasantness when it comes to his channel. It's just a fact of life. It's something I've experienced since I was a little kid. If you're a happy person, there are going to be many people who aren't going to be happy about that. And they're going to do everything to try to steal your joy. And I can just imagine all of the people who are trying to steal Dan's joy on a daily basis and have for years and years and years. And what really impresses me about Pixel Dan is the graceful way in which he responds. Another nickname for Dan would be High Road Dan, because he always takes the high road, whether it's in his videos or on Twitter. He does not sink to the level of the unpleasant people. They're called trolls or bullies. I don't think that's an appropriate name for them. I think that's too cutesy. I think they should be called something that describes them a little better. The common ones that I use are sociopaths or narcissists or evil, just plain evil people. And I'm always really touched and inspired by the way Dan responds to those types of negative comments and feedback towards his videos. So super passionate guy, energetic, happy. So he's a wonderful toy reviewer, but more importantly, he's a wonderful human being. So it's really cool to see somebody like Pixel Dan reach the level of notoriety that he has, and he's still using it for such a positive message. He really is the embodiment of He-Man. He's a huge He-Man fan, and I think he is living the lessons that Lou Scheimer taught us through the He-Man cartoon. Number 6 is the YouTube channel for 3D Joes. You know them mostly for their website, where they have incredible artwork. They have meticulously restored all of the artwork and are sharing it with all the Joe fans from the 80s. And you can even buy some posters there or the incredible art books. I've reviewed the first one, Art of G.I. Joe. I'll be reviewing the rest very shortly. But they have a YouTube channel as well, and there's a lot of cool Joe content there as well. Interviews, behind the scenes footage. So definitely, if you're a fan of the art of G.I. Joe, then check out the 3D Joe's YouTube channel as well. Number 7 is a shout out to Toy Bro, who has an awesome channel, and I really love the background of it. Every time I see it, I think, is he in the 80s Toy Museum? He uses orange for his background, and I think that's the color that really makes everything pop. I guess I'm popping right now. But again, I like his style. I'm not so much into the really over-the-top, obnoxious YouTubers, whether it's toy reviews or movies or TV. I dislike the guys who come on and they're just so in your face. They're like a live-action Looney Tunes character. They talk too loud, they're yelling, they're screaming. They make my anxiety level just go up. And one of my major rules in life is if it doesn't work for you, walk away, walk on, turn it off. Toy Bro is chill, he's cool, he's informative, he's not over the top, and I like his style, so check out Toy Bro. Number 8 on the list is for all of you fellow Ontarians. It is Retrontario, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but they have all sorts of clips, footage from WUTV Buffalo 29. So growing up in Southern Ontario in the 80s, that's where all of the great cartoons were, He-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and part of the whole package is the commercials as well. So they have some of the old commercials there, or news footage, other little things that were local to Southern Ontario or Buffalo or the New York region. That's the stuff that filled out the show. So it's one thing to sit down and watch an old cartoon and say, oh cool, I have such nostalgia about that. But if you watch the other stuff, there are pieces missing when you watch those DVDs, and the pieces are those title cards for Buffalo 29 or the other commercials for other programs or upcoming events or Carvel's Cakes, stuff like that. It's really cool to be able to see all of that stuff restored on Retrontario. Number 9 on the list is another channel that does stop motion with Transformers. It's called Graf-X Motion. They do a lot of fantastic episodic type of stuff there. They've got special effects, explosions. They do great voices on the show, and case in point, there is an upcoming episode where I'm going to be featured in one of the episodes. I'm doing the voice of Trax, which is going to sound a lot more like Trax when you put all the Autobot metallic reverb on it, but it was awesome to be able to play Trax in a short. I also do the voice of Ratchet in that episode as well, so I'm excited about that one coming up, and all of the other videos they have on the channel as well are so entertaining. It's like G1 Transformers cartoon has come back just for a little bit. And instead of being animated, now it is stop motion. And number 10 on the list is my good buddy Matt and his channel Crandall Reviews. I've been doing TV and movie reviews with Matt for quite a while on the Armchair Directors channel. Matt has a solo channel as well where he talks about smaller movies that I don't get out to see, or product reviews, and it's really entertaining. I've been saying for many years that I'm a fan of Armchair Directors for Matt's contribution to the show. So I don't necessarily sit there and watch it to listen to myself, but I really enjoy his thoughts and his opinions. He's very intelligent and also entertaining. He's funny, and it's more of the same on his solo channel. So it's cool to see him cover stuff that I'm not going to get out to see, whether it's movies or TV. And it's also nice to hear him speak at length without me constantly interrupting him every 30 seconds or so. That's my top 10 favorite YouTube channels at the moment. I'll do another one down the road for sure, and hopefully include more channels. If you have a YouTube channel and you're doing sort of what I'm doing here, if you're looking at vintage 80s toys, comics, TV shows, movies, whatever it might be, in a really fun, positive light, if your hobby makes you happy instead of miserable, feel free to share it in the comments below. Add the link so that other people can check it out as well. And if you don't have your own YouTube channel, but there are some channels that you love that I didn't mention on this list, again, feel free to leave them in the comments section and share them with some of the other tribe. Thanks for watching, and thanks for all the amazing comments. I'm not able to respond to all of them, but I do read them all, so they always inspire me. Thank you so much for taking the time to give a little back. And until next time, Nerdmas Day.